Hello everyone, so let's learn Ode to Joy. This is a very good tune to learn as a beginning piano student. So first of all, you're going to find C, which is next to a group of 2, and you're going to put your thumb on C and line up 5 fingers here. The left hand is going to do the same thing, except that it's backwards, so the pinky is going to be here. Your thumb is going to be on G. So you can practice first the 5-finger hand position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just make sure you are at the group of 2. So here is the whole melody. I'll play the whole thing through what we're going to accomplish. Okay, so first of all, let's learn the melody step by step, just the right hand. So you're going to start with the middle note, this note, with under your 3rd finger. So your finger numbering is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the very beginning, 3 is twice, and then 4, then 5, 5. Now if you go note-wise, it's E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D. Now if you see this for the first time, you see that everything's either can be a step or a skip. So these are skips, and these are steps. So the first E repeats, then a step up, then a G up, and that repeats, and then step, and then repeat, and repeat. So that's the first part. That's the A section. Now here's the B section. So the difference between the first section and the second section is the first section ends with E, E, D, D, and the second section ends with E, D, C, C, right? So this is a very good song for pattern recognition. Okay, so here are the first 2 sections together. So you see there's a first section, which is actually the whole A section, and there's a part 1 and there's a part 2. Okay, or a question and an answer. Okay, so now the second section has leaps. It starts on D every single time. So it's D, D, E, C. So there's a leap. Right? So repeated D, 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 E, C. Second one ends with the EC, but goes up to F. So D, E, F, E, C. So again, beginning of the B section, D, D, E, C, D, E, F, E, C. And now the third part of it is D, E, F, E, D, C, D. And the left hand's going to play G. Okay, so here's the whole second section. Okay, and then to end, you just play the second part. You just play the answer of the first section. So here's the ending. so you may pause the video at any time and go back and go over this. So when you have the melody down, we'll come back to this next section where I'll just show you. We're going to play the shells of chords. Now we're working up to full chords like this. But first of all, let's just play 2 notes. If you're really a beginner, right? You just play these 2 notes. So you're going to play a C and a G, right? So left a group of 2 is your C, and then if you look at the group of 3, this note is F at the beginning of the group of 3, and the G is the next note up. So C, D, E, F, G. So C and G. This is your C chord. This is also your 1 chord, or your tonic chord. This is the chord that ends a piece, or it's at rest, or it is not dissonant. This is the answer chord, however you want to look at it, right? And then you have a question chord, all right? Or if you want to think about it as inhaling and exhaling, and the sound of it. Or the tide comes in and the tide goes out, right? These 2 chords are opposite. So this is called the dominant chord, or the 5 chord. This is a G chord, and I'm playing it in an inversion, all right? So don't worry so much about what it's called or what it is, right? First of all, just recognize it on the piano. So we have a C chord and we have a G chord. So how do we get there? The C chord, we play the C and the G, and then we just move our 5th finger, our pinky, down 1 note to get to the G chord. So these are the 2 basic chords of this. So now you can either use your ear or watch the video and watch where I change. So to play together, you're going to start very slowly. Now on the 2nd G, you change to the 2nd section, the chords will change faster. G, C, G, C, G. Now leave the chords alone for a second because we have other chords that will fit in here later. Now here's the ending. Okay, so now the next thing you can do with this, now there's a lot you can do with Ode to Joy, even as a beginner. So now we're going to fill in our chords. So if you notice, this chord sounds a little empty, right? So there's an extra note in here. So this is going to be a C major chord. Chords are based on the odd numbers of the scale. So if I played a C scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 notes, and the first and the last note repeat. So the C chord is based on the 1, the 3rd, and the 5th of that. So that's our C chord. So we're just filling in. So if you notice, we started here with these shells, right? And now we're filling that in. And now the G chord will actually have a D in it too. So this is an inversion of this. So this is an actual G chord in root position, and this is C chord in root position. So we're going from here to here. So what happens? From the C chord, these 2 notes just move down 1 note. So this is very smooth voice leading, right? Now we could also do other inversions. You don't want to worry yourself with that right now, but you could do inversions like this. You could also do inversions like this. Sometimes you end up with a chord in root position. When a chord's in root position, it just looks like this, very symmetrical, right? With the name of the chord on the bottom, C. So anyway, how does this tie in with our song that we're playing right now? Well, we're going to use 3-note chords now. C, G, C, G, C, G, G, Okay, so now if you've gotten this far and you have this part down, we can try something else with the same tune. So we can play it in minor. So by lowering the third note, so pieces can be based on a major scale or a minor scale. And now there are two forms of the minor. But for us, all we need to think about are these first 5 notes. So we're going to substitute, instead of this E natural, we're going to play this note. Okay. So going back to our 2-note chords, our melody is suddenly going to sound more serious. And now with the 2-note chords, we could also add 3 notes and play it in minor. So instead of this E natural, we start with a C minor chord. And our 5 chord is always major, so it stays the same. So playing it with 3 notes. So you can go and so on and so forth, okay? So now, the final thing we can do is do what's called secondary dominance. Okay, so if you remember this chord, right? Just using 2 notes again, right? So you're going to use 5 and 1. Now the reasoning behind that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your portal to any key. Right? So now something else happens in this when you play it for real. The first section is the same. But you see there were those extra fancy chords. Now what happened there? Well, I played an E chord, and then I played an A minor chord, then I played a D chord, and I played a G chord. Now these chords are, this is a 5 chord. This is actually 5 of A minor, and this is 5 of G. So looking at the scale theory, what happened was we had a 6 chord. That's an A minor chord, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A minor, right? So if I play an A minor chord, 1, 3, 5, the 5 of 6 is an E chord. So this dominant chord, this 5 chord, gets us to 6. And then I'm going to end up on G, which again is 5, but I'm going to use 5 of 5. So here's a G, and D is the top note. So D7 is 5 of 5. D, G. So let's just practice that left hand. So it's G, all the chords you need, G, C, and then you're going to find the G sharp right in the middle of the group of 3 with your 5th finger, and then E. And that's going to smoothly move to A. And then you're going to find the D. So that's the F sharp, first of the group of 3, and your thumb is on D, and then G. So it only happens in the second section. So if we watch the second section, E, A, D, G, and then the rest is the same. Now, you can also do this with 3-note chords. So all of these 5s of things are called secondary dominants, and secondary dominants are very powerful. And when you start to hear secondary dominants, you can actually play by ear. Okay, so Let's do it with 3-note chords. Okay, so now you're doing some pretty advanced harmony on a very simple tune. So now what happens if we played it in a different key? So let's move everything up to D. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to put your thumb on D. So D is right in the middle of the two group of black notes. And then you're going to put your 5th finger on D, right in the middle, right? And then you're going to play the first 5 notes of a D major scale. Okay, so now your chords, just using 2-note chords. So our D and A, because here's A is your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So D and A, which is an inversion, right? So that's the real chord, but here's your inversion. So now you can play. This is the actual key that Beethoven wrote it in. And you can also use 3-note chords. Notice I left the secondary dominants out right now because we're just learning it in D. So now you're going to play all white notes. You're going to lower the 3rd to make it minor. And so on and so forth. So you know how that goes, right? So now let's talk about the secondary dominants, right? So we need 6. Remember that A minor in C major was our 6. Well, now B minor is our 6 in D major. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6. Right? So a B minor chord is what we need. And then 5 of B minor is F sharp. F sharp major. So our chords are going to go like this. A, D, F sharp, B minor, E, A. Okay, why? You say, okay, well, we need 5 of 6, B minor, and then we need 5 of 5, E major. So 5 is A. Okay? So now don't go crazy if you can't wrap your head around the theory of this right now and what all the names are. What's more important is that you just recognize the shapes of the patterns on the keyboard, right? So it looks like this. This note, this note. Okay, so now you need the last of the group of 3 and the first of the group of 3. And then you need the same pattern that you played in C major. So you need the middle of the group of 3 and an E and then A and E. Right? So let's do the second section in D major. Just using 2 notes. And then you can play the rest. Right, so now if you find the first 5 notes of any key, you could transpose this into all of these other keys. Or even, so all of these different keys you could play in all 12 keys. So that's a good exercise to do. For now, you can stick to C and D, and maybe I'll do another video of transposing ode to joy that's more advanced into all the other keys. So I hope this gives you a basis, and it's also a good basis on how secondary dominants function. So happy practicing, and thank you for watching.